You've seen the words, right? Every human is an artist. It's everywhere. But what if that feel-good quote that just floods your social media feed isn't really a compliment? What if it's actually a challenge? Well, today we're going to unpack the truly radical idea behind this super famous phrase. I mean, seriously, on social media, this thing is just everywhere. It's always presented as this beautiful, feel-good mantra. It's like a simple compliment telling you, hey, you're a masterpiece in your own way. And yeah, it's inspiring, it's uplifting, and it is wildly popular. But what if that popular meaning is a total misunderstanding? What if the original idea was never meant to be a comforting pat on the back, but instead a radical call to action, a challenge to, everything we think we know about our role in the world? That is the real story we're diving into today. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we have to go back, way back to its fiery, totally unexpected birth on live television. See, this wasn't some carefully written manifesto. Nope, it was a spark right in the middle of a confrontation. So picture this. It's 1972, we're in Austria, on a live TV talk show. And the topic of the night is, I'm not kidding, art or rubbish. The air is just thick with tension. You've got artists, you've got critics, and they are locked in this super heated debate live on air for the whole country to see. And then, right in the middle of all this, the moderator opens up the phone lines. The public gets to weigh in. You can just imagine the panelists, right, straightening their ties, getting ready for some super intellectual question about the nature of art. But that's not what happens. The caller isn't interested in art theory at all. They've got a totally different question, and it's aimed squarely at this provocative artist, Joseph Beuys. And the question is, when is he finally going to take off that felt hat? I mean, it was a total jab, right? Meant to dismiss him, to just reduce his entire artistic identity down to a weird fashion choice. Now, in that moment, Beuys could have gotten defensive, but he doesn't. He just leans into the microphone and delivers this line completely off the cuff that would echo for decades. But you have to listen really closely to his actual words. He says, not every human is an artist. And then he pauses. But every human can also be art. It sounds so similar, right? But that tiny, tiny change, well, it makes all the difference. So, to understand why that distinction is so powerful, we really have to get inside the head of Beuys and his most revolutionary idea, this concept he called social sculpture. See, Beuys believed in what he called the expanded concept of art. And for him, art wasn't, just something you hang in a museum. It wasn't an object at all. It was this fundamental creative force that exists inside every single one of us, and he believed its true purpose was to shape and mold society itself. The logic here is actually pretty simple, but it's also really profound. So it starts with this basic idea. Every single person has creativity. Every one. Beuys saw this creativity as our most valuable resource, our real capital. And when we apply that creative energy to the world, in our politics, our conversations, our jobs, we're actually performing a sculptural act. And that huge collective project of all of us shaping a better society together, that is social sculpture. Here, think of it this way. Society, that's the raw material. It's the giant block of marble. And your thoughts, your words, your actions, that's the chisel. That's what you use to shape it every single day. And this brings us right back to that crucial distinction he made on live TV. Because for Beuys, the specific words he chose, man, they were everything. This was no accident. All right, let's really break this down. If you say someone is an artist, that just refers to their job, right? Their profession. And Beuys knew, hey, not everyone's a painter. Now, if you say someone is an artwork, that suggests they're a finished product, something to be looked at. It's totally passive. But to say a human is art, well, that's different. That refers to the active creative potential inside them. It's not about what you do for a living. It's a fundamental state of being. So here's the bottom line. To be an artwork is to be a product. But to be art, that's to be the creative process itself. You are not the finished statue. You are the force that shapes the statue. So what does all this mean for us, right here, right now? Well, it kind of forces a choice on us, doesn't it? Are we chasing fame, or are we committed to taking action? In this contrast perfectly illustrates two totally competing visions for what it means to be an individual in the modern world. Okay, so on the one hand, you've got Andy Warhol's world, right? The 15 minutes of fame. This is the idea of being famous like a work of art. where you're just passively seen and consumed by others. But then you've got boys. His statement here basically says it's incredibly hard to stand up against your own time and just declare loudly, "I am art." For boys, it wasn't about being seen. It was about having the courage to act. So, when you really get down to it, that phrase, "every human is art," it isn't a compliment. It's not trying to tell you that you're beautiful in some passive, "oh, look at me" kind of way. No, it's a declaration. It's a reminder that you are powerful, that you possess the raw material of creation itself, and that you have a responsibility to use it. So the real takeaway from that heated TV debate, it isn't just a nice quote for a coffee mug. It's a question. It's a question that Booz is still asking all of us, 50 years later. If you're not a passive artwork to be looked at, but the active force of art itself, and if society is the marble and your life is the chisel, then what exactly are you shaping today?